Okay, so now we've got our test framework up and running, and we've been executing our test currently within Chrome browser. So what happens when we want to execute our test, let's say for example in another browser type such as Firefox? So what we're going to do next is we're going to execute our previous feature file, which was opening up in Chrome browser. This time we're going to open the test and run the test against Firefox browser. So the first thing we need to do is we need to download something which is called Gecko Driver. So I'm on Google, I'm going to type in Gecko Driver download, and then I'm going to select the first link here. I'm then going to select the following option. I'm going to scroll down and there's going to be a series of zip files. So one's 32-bit and one's 64. My system's a Windows operating system, it's a 64-bit, so I'm going to select the following option. So just download the zip file. Okay, and when that file's downloaded, we're just going to open that zip file. We have the Gecko Driver .exe file that we need, and I'm going to drag it onto the resources packages. Click OK. So now we have Gecko Driver located within our resources package. So now we need to point our tests to the following .exe file. So what I'm going to do is open up our previous login step. I'm going to comment out the following before statement. I'm going to copy the shell of the before structure. So let's say instead of setup, let's provide it with a name of setup Firefox. And then what I'm going to do is we can leave the following there. We can remove the first two top lines. So just delete these lines here. And now what we're going to do is we need to first of all set up the options for our actual Firefox instance. So what I'm going to do is say Firefox options, and I'm going to go Firefox options again. So you provide the actual name for the variable, and then I'm going to say new, and then basically Firefox options again. So we need to set up the Firefox options for when we create our Firefox driver object. Now I'm going to call the actual Firefox options. I'm going to call a method called set capabilities. In the first option, I'm going to type in here Marriott. So MARIONETTE. It needs to be in a string. And the following is a Boolean value. We're going to set it to true. Okay, so now we've got the following two lines added to our actual Firefox setup method. So I'm going to save the class. Next, I'm going to use the system set properties method that we previously used when setting up Chrome browser. So I'm going to copy the following, which is highlighted. I'm going to paste it. Instead of Chrome driver, we need to replace Chrome with Gecko. And in this following value here, in this string, so we need two strings, as you can see, which was previously listed, we need to provide the location of Gecko Driver. Because Gecko Driver .exe file is in the same actual package, which is the resources package, I'm going to paste the previous directory, and then I'm just going to replace Chrome driver with Gecko Driver. And then I'm just going to close the statement. And last but not least, I need to add one more setup. So we need to say we've set up the options, we've set up Marriott to true, which is fine. We need to give reference to our driver. So what we need to do is go this.driver, and then we need to say equals new, we need to say Firefox driver, and then we need to make a link to our Firefox options. So we copy the actual variable name here, or the options name, and we're just going to paste it inside our actual object where we're setting our actual object up. And now we need to import the relevant package. Okay, excellent. Save the class. You can see there's no errors. And now let's execute our runner class, which in turn should open up our test case in Firefox browser. You can see that Gecko Driver was output to the console window, which is a good sign. You can see the indication that it's currently running a test. You can see a little robot icon in the top left hand corner. Okay, it's clicked on the login button. It's provided username and password, and it's successfully logged into the account. And it's also closed the browser window. Okay, excellent. So we now know that we can execute our test both in Firefox and Chrome browser. So it provides you with more functionality to your existing framework. Just remember, make sure you add the relevant code required for both. If you decide to choose Firefox, add the following code. If you decide to run your tests obviously in Chrome browser, then you'll need obviously the code listed. Don't forget to download the relevant .exe files into your project. To run our tests against Chrome browser, we need to download Chrome Driver .exe, and to run our tests against Firefox browser, we need to download Gecko Driver.exe. Obviously, if you encounter any problems, try and diagnose the problem. Don't be afraid of exceptions, because it's a great way for you to also learn and hone in on your skills. And if you can't find an answer to your question, always search online, to go to websites such as Stack Overflow, which has a big community, and I'm sure there's someone on there that will be able to provide you with some helpful knowledge to fix and resolve any exceptions that you may encounter.